Congratulations on this film. Your performance is so wonderful and nuanced. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, so how is As They Made Us a love letter to the fixers, the people who give so much of themselves and
Mm,
rarely get the recognition they deserve because they, never ask for it?
mm, mm. That's definitely a huge aspect of this film. I think that with Abigail's character, I think many people can relate to just taking on too much and assuming that that's the way it has to be, and not asking for help or space or time for themselves. And I think that there are aspects of her that I identified, not so much that, because I think I have learned to be good about boundaries and making time for myself. But it was very interesting to be playing that character and feeling her tension and within scenes and that dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal note, I could completely relate. I am the fixer in my family, and it's emotionally tolling. And
Yeah.
I think, um, yeah, and we see the pain that causes her, and but we also see, I mean, I think that what this movie does so beautifully too is shows us that you can't choose your family, but you can choose love.
Hmm.
Which I found to be so profound and relatable, especially I think, in these current times, always, but especially in the last, few years. Um, what did stepping into Abigail's shoes teach you most about yourself?
You know, I It was interesting for me because right as the world kind of shut down, I did think, okay, moving into this next chapter of my storytelling wants and needs, like, let me just dream about what characters I would like to portray or what themes I would like to incorporate. And the one thing that, and this is kind of funny when you really think about it and ask for it and it shows up at your door. I have had a long history of, my father's been ill for more years of my life than well, and I've mourned many different versions of him because his illness has manipulated his kind of cognition and physical health into very like chapters, and I have obviously experienced a lot of pain as it relates to that. You never want to witness a family member, a loved one, anyone go through such life altering changes. But I remember thinking, okay, I understand, especially from my personal experience, how much storytelling around this might be helpful for somebody to watch. And I think I'm finally ready to step into that kind of storytelling without it being too heartbreaking for me. And then, of course, it's very interesting. Uh, you know, Here comes Mimes film, and it's exactly what I'm talking about. And that felt very both timely and eerie because it was not long after I had made that kind of conscious assessment of what might be important to me. So, yeah, very, very bizarre, and it was so kind of beautifully healing to immerse myself in this world that is not identical to my own personal experience, but has many of the colors.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm,
Yeah, it's the processes of grief that Abigail kind of goes through, I think, grieving her younger self in a lot of ways as well.
mm,
And um, so much self reflection and the relationship with her father, because we see that it wasn't always the best relationship, but we see the love that's there and those moments that you hold on to toward the end. That scene between you and Dustin when he sort of they always say that when you're kind of on the edge of letting go, you have this sort of almost like cosmic experience where you
mm,
start to see memories and shapes. And I remember experiencing that with my husband's grandfather. And
mm.
the way that this film captures those moments are so poignant and just lovely. And I think the power of storytelling right there. Do you hope that this film kind of, speaking of the power of storytelling, do you hope this film
Mm.
also gifts others to help them reflect on their own relationships and family dynamics and opening conversations that maybe they were perhaps avoiding or afraid to have?
Absolutely. I think there are so many fear-based decisions that are made because not knowing what the potential outcome is can be very scary. And I think that there's a front and a back to everything. So, our past experiences shape who we are today. And there's just so many things at play. And I think that just because somebody presents in a certain way does not mean that it is their intention to do so, or it does not mean that a conversation can help navigate a path to a new truth. I just think there is so much potential good that can come out of a potentially hard exploration and expressing new wants and wishes, and it still can be very scary for people
Yeah.
because again, I think most people want to protect themselves as much as they can and not experience new trauma or pain, and not knowing if the outcome is going to be good or bad is sometimes prevents the beginnings of exploration to happen at all.
It's so true. I mean, I think the relationship between Abigail and Nathan, we see the fear that they both have. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the scenes between the two of you
Yeah.
during the lecture, where you can tell it's like he's almost physically shaking a little. Like he's like, you
Yeah.
can tell he's shaky, and um there's such a tenderness and like an ease to like sort of seeing each other again. But then we obviously go through this journey with them, and they obviously need each other. They need each
Yeah.
other for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And we see that there was fear there, and we see that to overcome that fear, even though it never kind of goes away, especially with siblings who, haven't seen each other or spoken to each other, but we see that the beauty that can come from that. And
Mm.
it's such a gift. This film is such a gift. Your performance is such a gift. Dianna, you're so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's so kind. I really appreciate it.